Hello, friends, and welcome to part 2 of the big discussion with Working Brother here on Men's Day. Remember, this is a warning that this discussion involves a lot of guy humor, locker room jive, and all that stuff. So, for those of you who are a little bit sensitive to that kind of crudeness, you might want to stick to our normal content. Anyways, enjoy part 2 if you can.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Working Brother back at you with Tim, Kirby Russia Hardcore.
Yo,
We're back
good to be with you.
We're back for the second half of that manstravaganza on
Yes, the manstravaganza continues because I'm here. Yeah.
On the subject of International Men's Day. Those who missed it, watch the first episode. Those who stuck around and are here for the second, welcome. We will continue down this dark rabbit hole of men's lives. Speaking of, did you ever hear about that story of that lesbian who transitioned to a man and went around pretending to be a man?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a really good thing, and everyone should watch it. I don't know how you're going to find it online, but it's something like, woman dresses up as man and finds out how hard life is for men. One of the things that's interesting about it, well, first off, it's only a 20-minute video, so there's really no reason not to watch it, but it is fascinating. It is really fascinating.
Keep talking. I'm trying to look for the name.
Okay, I just remember she had black hair. But one thing is, unfortunately, I do believe she died recently, which is kind of sad. But anyways, the video does reveal that she even said that she used to think that men were sort of these like grand oppressors and all that. And through the process of her interactions with women, she actually felt that sort of men really get shafted by society. So she really kind of did a 180. However, though, I do think that within the process of this video, again, because she's a woman, despite the fact that she's a more sort of masculine woman, she really sort of conflated a lot of men's problems with like, I'm not able to share my, men aren't able to share.
Her name was Nora Vincent. Her name was Nora Vincent, and she killed herself.
Oh, she died that way. Oh, that's even worse. Oh no. Well, that's yeah.
So yeah, well, on the subject of being men, let's go back to
I'll just say everyone should go. Did you find what's the name of the video so people can look for that video?
I have no idea. I'm sure if
it
they look her
up on the Wikipedia article, it has the photo, a screenshot from it.
Does it? Hold on.
Yeah.
I didn't read that fast.
I think that's actually a screenshot.
Blah.
Of Self-Made Man. That's the book. Oh, okay. ABC News. So here we have ABC News, maybe Self-Made Man. That's what you might want to check out.
I'm sure if you look it up, you'll find
one thing that she mentioned about one thing about masculinity where I guess I'm the weirdo is she mentioned going to a strip club. I have never understood that, dude. You're looking at one naked woman dancing who won't touch you, and you're surrounded by 40 guys with boners.
You've seen too many movies, man.
What is erotic about that? No.
You've seen too many movies. It's not really like that.
I don't know. I've never been to one because it seems very like
cannot confirm or deny. Cannot confirm or deny.
I don't know. It seems it's surface straight. Subcontext super gay, the whole thing. If you're ever at a party and one guy says, hey, we're all just guys here, get that guy out of the party.
Or just leave.
Yeah, or leave yourself. If someone agrees with them, we're all just guys here, there is gonna be something sexual happening soon. Get out, bail.
That's
run hilarious. For the hill.
I've never experienced that, thank God. In any case, we've got another quote here. What makes a man a man? A friend of mine has once wondered, is it his origins, the way he comes to life? I don't think so. It's the choices he makes, not how he starts things, but how he decides to end them. Guillermo del Toro.
Ooh. Guillermo del Toro. Oh, let's see. It's the choices he makes, not how he starts.
Oh, you wanted to read it again?
Well, I gotta let's see, because this one is less cliche. It's the choices he makes, not how he starts things, but how he decides to end them. So this is a lot more sane. It's sort of about, maybe it's somewhat about how men are the deciders. Because I'll tell you one thing. You've probably heard women say, I'm so tired of deciding everything, especially if they're a single mom. You will never hear a man say, I'm tired of deciding stuff. Like decisiveness
That's
is kind
true.
of like,
I've never heard any friend, or I've never felt the need to say I'm tired of deciding stuff. Yeah.
no, because that's kind of what we are, you know. Like I said, men are more decisive. That doesn't necessarily mean their decisions are good, but we're definitely the more decisive gender, by far.
Let's not get into too many details.
Oh,
We've
no
got another one here.
Out. I forgot. Because, dude, I get a lot of criticism from people. Tim, you always just sort of cover the surface of these topics. Why don't you ever do more deep research? Pay me.
This is a comedy show. I really don't care. Like you say, right, I'm not even paid. Like technically,
I see.
I've not collected 1 cent, even though nice people have donated. Oh, let's do that again. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to buy me a coffee. Ta-da! Yeah. You can buy me a coffee. Also, you can join the Patreon if you feel like it. There's the Patreon.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Thank you to everybody who has already subscribed, donated, bought coffees, and all that other good stuff, as well as all the liking, sharing, and commenting. That all helps on a different level.
Yeah, it does. When there's some sort of, you know, storm kind of happening in the background of stuff you post, it's definitely better than like if a group is dead. I'm always amazed that I have like 10,000 subscribers on Telegram. That's not a flex or like a fake sort of like. I'm always amazed, like, who are these people? As Jerry Seinfeld said, at least over 500 or 600 of them have registered comments. So the question is, who are these 600 people who comment, and then who are the other 10,000? You know, I don't even know.
I don't know. I have like on the Telegram, I've got a community of about 200 commenters, of which about I'd say maybe 50 are really active, and some even make me memes and stuff, and they've made gifts for me and stuff. It's excellent. I love my subscribers. One thing, dude,
about being a man is sometimes you have to get over maybe your own I wouldn't say fears, but you know, maybe your own misgivings about yourself. Because I started a series a little while ago called Eurasian Ideas, and I'm like, I'm a weird American guy who's in this like Russian woodlands hellhole house, and I'm talking about the ideas of Eurasianism in like a stained t-shirt, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Who would ever listen to this? And people do. Some of the videos get a few thousand views, and it's amazing. There are true intellectuals out there, I guess, besides myself.
Like Nike or the God of War said.
Yes.
In any case, Einstein. By the way, all these quotes, these are, as you can see, from the internet. So, like, none of these are fact checks. So this is a comedy show. If you find out that these are fake quotes, like, sue me or something. Oh, you know what I mean? Good luck.
If a quote is in English and it's from a person who speaks Russian, there's a very good chance it is wrong. I'll tell you that much.
That's highly likely, but like I'm saying, even the English ones are often, you know that like Socrates quote, if you saw it on the internet, it must be true.
That's a classic. Yes. Anyways, maybe it's my turn to read.
Oh, you want to read it? Go ahead. Yeah, give me a break. Be my guest.
Yeah, I read terribly, so it's fun, but I can't see it now. You took it off the screen.
Yeah. I put you that way.
Try not to become a man of success, but a man of value. Look around at how people want to get more out of life than they put in. A man of value will give more than he receives. Be creative, but make sure that what you create is not a curse for mankind. But says the guy who made the atom bomb partially? Like, come on, that has to be fake. That has to be. I don't know. That's part of a meme or something. It's too ironic. Like, because Einstein was sort of socially awkward, but he wasn't sitting there like, I will just write about how, you shouldn't do something dangerous for society, but I do Manhattan Project. I am so funny. Like, that's a massive troll from beyond the grave.
Do that accent again. Do that racist accent.
Some sort of like semi-gay German guy. I don't know.
I don't think it was German. I think it was Jewish German. Yeah.
I don't know. No, I can't really
refugee German.
This is a refugee German. Oh yes.
Oh, speaking of, we should talk about current events and stuff at some point. No, I was talking about the other new Nazis in Israel and Palestine and Gaza.
Oh,
and all that, man.
Well,
stuff
this is one thing where maybe I can talk about it from a media standpoint as an expert, because I definitely know how the media works, especially here. But if we're going to talk about some sort of grand strategist or someone who knows the inner workings of like Israeli politics, I'm really not your guy. My expertise is Russia, United States. Those are the countries I really know. So I don't want to disappoint your audience here.
No, I was just gonna bring it up in passing. My subscribers on Telegram know that what my stance is, and what. Oh, by the way, how's YouTube? Are you watching this video with commercials? Do you use ad blockers? The ad blocker wars
I don't have to, because now that there's the war on, YouTube no longer has any commercials in Russia.
Oh, so I should just put my location in Russia and problem solved.
Kinda, yeah, to be honest. Of course, it'll really recommend videos from Russia primarily. But there's no more advertisements, because I think the process of them actually trying to get the money from here to there in a way that is like super legal is not happening. Some companies can do it, like Burger King's still here. McDonald's bailed, but Burger King is still around. So somehow the money flows out in a legal way, So, yeah.
What can I say? McDonald's gave free meals to, what are they called? The Israeli
Zionists.
Forces.
What?
The defense forces. The defense.
Oh, the Israeli defense forces. I see.
Occupation forces.
That's right, they did. Oh my God! That's it. You're going to win the war when you've got Mickey D's on your side. Oh boy.
No comment. Let's get back to Einstein and the whole manosphere thing. So, other than the ironic part about this maybe not being a real quote, because he's saying curse for mankind and he created the atom bomb, but did he really, and does it exist really? There's that whole conspiracy theory. But let's not go down that road.
But again, if we go here, I can already tell you, hold on, is if men should get more out of life than they put in. So essentially, men need to create some sort of net positive. Men need to be a producer and provider. Oh my gosh, where have we heard that before?
Yeah.
Wow. It's almost like, anyways.
But that's not only from like the women's perspective. That's from like the society's perspective is what I'm saying. And back to the earlier point. You know what I mean? Like, what does a man, like, when you introduce me to a friend of yours, and you say this guy's a man, and then you introduce me to another friend of yours and say, watch out, this guy's not a real man. What is the distinction? What is the distinction between those two guys that you just introduced me to?
Well, let's see.
The whole thing. Let's say they make the same amount of money.
Not a real man. Not a real man is. They have a very again, the emotionalness is, I think, something where immediately people do check boxes. Being really needy, because as someone who's semi quasi famous, I get a lot of like weird messages from people who are like, "I don't have any friends. Talk to me." No, that is. You shouldn't really need them. If Richard Cooper here, he'd kill me for that, because men need their masculine tribal groups. Okay, whatever. But you really don't need. I would say in some ways, it's with men, we don't need to have our emotional needs met. They have to be sort of eliminated through the process of getting smarter and more masculine and more in control of ourselves. So I don't know, but again, so needy, whiny. Maybe very physically weak for a reason that they have control over. Like, you don't see someone who's in a wheelchair and think, pansy. No, it's like, well, they're in a wheelchair because they're in a wheelchair. But there's a difference between, like, people who don't even try to be somewhat, physically powerful in any way. Or I'll put it this way. One thing that's kind of hard for women to understand is even if some guy was a real wimp, fought Mike Tyson in his prime, he gets knocked unconscious in the first 20 seconds, you'd say, hey, that guy's pretty tough. He fought Mike Tyson. Of course he lost, but he fought Mike Tyson. And that's another thing. You got to sense from a guy that they have some sort of gumption or grit, as Norm Macdonald mentioned. Men have to have grit. And it's sort of that sort of stuff. It's this air of sort of also knowing what they're doing, maybe competency. People definitely like a real man is very competent. You can't be a sort of aloof, bimbo,
Lost. Yeah. Airheady, man.
yeah.
Airheady is not manly. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Whereas for example, like say that there's something wrong. A woman backs a car accidentally into a truck. She can go, well, in Russia, anyways, for sure. Oh, tee, I'm a woman. I'm bad at driving. Oh my God. And society accepts that, and that's fine. And in fact, that's some sort of like demonstration of her femininity. And people are actually going to kind of actually like that. Whereas if a man goes, oh, I backed in your truck. Oh, I'm such a goofball. Punch in the face. You know what I mean?
That goes back to the statistics. Men are on average 3.4 times more likely to be imprisoned than women. Both committed the same crime. Like you just said that.
Well, yeah, and here's another example from the war in Ukraine. Now, this video could be fake because it was very filmed in a kind of fakey way, but let's just say it was real.
Fakey.
So we have this video where there's a woman who is in the Ukrainian uniform, sitting away from the camera. The Russian soldiers are kind of like, she's in theory captured, and one of the first things she says is, "Don't hit me, I'm pregnant." Now, is she like
that
everyone?
Was weird.
Then, because all the people who are in the beta male space were like, "Oh my God." They're having this pregnant woman go out there. I think the chances she's pregnant are probably low. She probably just said that because she knew that is a way to manipulate, instinctively knew that if I say I'm pregnant, they won't hit me because they wouldn't want to hurt the baby. And that triggers something in your male mind where you can't hit them because they're kind of helpless and they're the future.
It could
what
be
if they
maybe, yeah. It could be maybe, defense mechanism, yeah, maybe. But like if I didn't see 2 days later a video of like, as one channel admin who I forwarded to, who shall remain nameless, answered, in Russian, answered, that's the crocodile who had her jaw ripped. A video of 2 moms saying, we just dropped the kids off at the daycare and now we're going to storm the front. And then the TikTok video continues and Russian artillery hits somewhere nearby. And then you hear off camera in English male voice. And then you hear her say in English, I'm okay. And then her jaw is like ripped open here from shrapnel. And then she gets sewn up and she's covered under more artillery. So yeah, I believe that they are sending pregnant women to the front, or that she got pregnant while she was at the front and that she was not allowed to leave. That's highly possible, and she might have gotten pregnant in order to try to leave.
But again, let's just not argue this moot point. Let's go back to then. They're sending women to the front lines, and everyone is in horror. They're like, if the Russians are like, well, if they weren't desperate before, when they send women to the front line, they're really desperate. Why? Because women are sort of the core of society in the sense of keeping society flowing, whereas we're expendable. If some of us die, it kind of doesn't matter because the rest of us can go around and like what happened actually in Russia after World War II. There was a lot of children born out of wedlock because a lot of women were willing to kind of share a guy in order to at least have kids and have at least half of a guy. You know what I mean? Whereas if in World War II all the women would have died, there would be no Russians today.
Yeah. So, a real man is honest.
The dark realities of World War II here, man. World War II had an incredible effect on, especially on masculinity, because what happened also after World War II in Russia, because so many men died, is it created a ton of single moms. So in some ways, in Russia, we have some of the problems of the single mom phenomenon, but for a completely different reason. World War II and the death of a lot of men, not through some sort of like feminist empowerment, this, that, or the other. So you definitely do encounter the problem of a lot of mama's boys here. And Russian women complain about that ad nauseum. And if you don't act like a mama's boy and you come to Russia and you have an intriguing accent, guess what's going to happen to you? Often.
Get married, have a couple of kids, and then get divorced.
Maybe.
It's what I hear is the standard. You're the second person who's told me that story from Russia.
The Russian marriages, half of them end in divorce. That is 100% true. But the second marriage usually sticks. So that's one thing I have noticed. I know a lot of people
they
get married early and then get remarried to the second time, and the second time works. So
I'll tell you who off camera. But like, no.
Oh, okay.
In any case, Yeah, we both know statistics can be manipulated. That's how we started off these two
Yes, they are very much
recordings. Let's get back to like some quotes slash memes slash whatever these things on the internet in picture format are called.
Yeah.
A real man is honest, takes care of his kids, gives up his seat for a woman, tells the worst truth instead of his best lie, listens, reads, is well groomed, is secure enough to have her stand in the limelight. Smiles.
No, F that. I was feeling it till that one. Get that.
Yeah,
get,
that
get,
one.
get
That limelight one
no.
is the limelight is a little bit like this might have been written by a woman. Is
Yeah.
romantic, minds his manners, holds doors often for others, is trustworthy,
Okay.
is on time, treats service personnel with respect they are due, love and respects his parents, makes mistakes, doesn't hold mistakes others make against them, understands that he doesn't know everything, makes a conscious effort to learn something new every day, loves hard, says what he feels, reads this without feeling offended. Are you offended?
I'm not offended. But yeah, this really does give off the vibe that this was better than most of the time. This is better than most of the time when women write about men, but it is definitely coming from a feminine perspective because there's a lot of coded language there about what exactly does take care of his kids mean. Because from our perspective as men,
Like not
taking care of kids, it's like here we could do the Eastern European way. Here is house. In fridge is food. Kids are taken care of. I go drink. Something like that. It sort of depends, but I don't know. I guess minding your manners and sort of, looking presentable is part of being a man. Because trust me, but again, about like what men and women respect, women definitely like when men look put together. You don't have to look good, but you have to look kind of put together. And them and their stupid details. Gosh, women love details. So oh boy, as long if you show up and your shoes are polished, they'll be like they'll notice. Something subconscious. Those shoes are polished. Oh my God, polished shoes. It means he must be very diligent or something. I don't know what loves hard means. That's a very weird, because I would say kind of the opposite. Because if you're really like a sort of you get your one-itis, as the red pill community calls it, and you really love woman, she becomes the center of your universe and all that, then she kind of loses respect for you.
No,
so you really shouldn't love too hard.
No, Walt. Not all women are like that.
I don't know, man.
No, Walt. That's what they're called. Those what did you call it? A princess?
Something, but yeah, you do not want to do this whole princess thing. It's more like I don't know, if we have to do it like a royal family, I don't know. It's more like the man is the emperor and the woman is
the queen.
I don't even know.
The queen.
I'd have to think about that one. So
in any case, let's take out all the ones that have to do with women, back to that. Example of you were introducing me to two friends of yours, or me to two of my friends, and I tell you this guy's a man and this guy's not a man. In my opinion, that what distinguishes them are things like their honesty. You know what I mean? Whether he's educated, whether he keeps his word, whether he treats people with respect regardless of their position. You know what I mean? Whether he sticks to agreements. You know what I mean? Like if he shakes on it, and if he says, yo, when you come to Russia, I'm going to drive you around and we're going to go to Donbass, and then you come to Russia and then he doesn't keep his word, that ain't a man. That's a little bitch. You know what I mean?
I sure hope I didn't promise that to you. Then again, I lost my license.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't.
Okay, thank goodness.
You didn't. But maybe he's watching. In any case, yeah. So the point is, keeping your word and being honorable in the true sense are things that are manly and are things that, get overlooked, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and this could also go back to that one where I'm just cliche bombing you for like the last 2 hours, but here comes another cliche. There was one that the idea of loyalty for women is that women are really loyal to their feelings. And men actually are the opposite. Real men act in spite of their feelings. Okay. And that's, I think, another way we can kind of break this down, especially about what you just mentioned about like honesty and trustworthiness and that. Like for a lot of women, they're like, well, I told you I'd loved you and I'd be with you, but now my feelings have changed. So bye. And that's completely logically consistent. And that for them is awesome. And that's in a lot of ways why I think a lot of women have a lot of conflicts with each other, because they're all in that sort of in that emotional whirlwind. Whereas we're expected not. We're expected to sort of always be against our feelings and sort of desires, and put logic and reason before that. And again, why would we do that? That's someone might think I'm trying to say that there's some sort of masculine supremacy, but I think that's a better system to go out and get meat and build houses, whereas women have to take care of other people. And so being emotional is definitely beneficial, because men suck at trying to do what women do. I think because you've had this discussion from the standpoint of the way, like, being a man and what men are and all this, we can't forget that when men try to do what women do, we are terrible at it. First off, as again, major red pill entity and Canadian ultra wealthy individual, Richard Cooper would say that men might seem like we're the better gender, all that, but just wait. Would you want to have one of your homies take care of you when you're sick? I'll tell you one thing. There's a big difference going to see a female doctor and like a male doctor. For men, you are just a problem to be solved, a piece of meat. Women, female doctors actually kind of want to find solutions and care about
they have
stuff.
Bedside manner, is what you're saying.
As soon as there's like a male doctor, I'm like, get your worthless penis out of here. PhD is vaginal only. Vaginal, excuse me. I've lived in Russia too long. Can't speak English. But, or two, like, think about it. One of the things that we have to be realistic about is men are very lustful. And when men are lustful and they're in a position where they could perhaps, use that power, say at a university, there's been a lot of scandals over the year, university professors say with their students. But, there's also more.
You don't
but then let's take it down a level. And we take it down a level to a certain type of, pervert and freak that will try to do the same thing with a position, working with children. And that's also one of the reasons why throughout most of history, a lot of stuff related to working with children has already had men shoved out of it, because our sexuality can be very dangerous, especially for the weird 1 out of every 10,000 people or 100,000 or however many they may be that might really want to work with boys, if you catch my drift. So yeah, there are definitely some, I don't want to sit here and make it seem like men are amazing and women are bad. No. And that's part of the manipulation the feminists do. What women do for society is amazing and is just as important as what we do. But, for them, being a little emotional and being a little, sometimes hysterical and all this, and constantly talking all day long without end, that is very beneficial to that side of the spectrum. Whereas the sort of stoic, put your emotions aside, be tough, get stuff done, that kind of attitude is beneficial to our side. It is terrible on the other side, and vice versa. So yeah.
So basically, everybody should stick to what they actually are.
Yeah, and again, unfortunately, the expression different but equal is ruined by U.S. history, but I think that applies to men and women. We're very different.
But ruined by U.S. history. Educate us.
Oh, because different but, there was separate but equal. Was the term used to have segregated schooling in America. And that's sort of...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and that's sort of something but equal is the logic that explained the whole Jim Crow era, which is like the period of time after slavery ended, but before the whole civil rights movement. So unfortunately, whenever you mention something that looked at is of that logic, American and Western brains always go, no, you can't say that. It's wrong. But about gender, I think it's right. I don't think we're separate. We're a little bit separated, and sometimes we should be separated. Trust me, dude, playing American football here, it is sometimes nice to have no women around. It really is. And be in this 100% masculine environment. It's kind of a nice breather. It really is.
I'm gonna have to say no homo. Anyway,
I don't know, man. No, we have a whole private group for us where we only share gay jokes with each other. So I don't know. Maybe it's 5% homo. Who knows?
I was never part of that. Jock sports culture thing.
Well, I wasn't, because in high school it was gay. Like it was basically like being in prison, and it's like, you know, it's kind of one of those things where I don't want to be given, and I don't want to be taking for sure, and I don't even want to be giving either. So that killed my high school football career. That's why I never went. That's why I had to pay for college, is because of those damn aggressive homosexual football players.
And coaches, apparently. There was a bunch of
Oh, well, yeah, the coaches are turned a blind eye. There's a lot of, let's just put it this way. There's a lot of very, very prison. I don't want to be too gross here. Very, very prison-like atmosphere. Sexually.
In any case, let's get back to this. This is from some article. I can't remember from where. I have the link, but I won't find it on purpose. What does it mean to be? What are the masculinities, or what a real man should be? There's the private sphere and the economical and political sphere. So, do you want to go through it? Maybe, can you see?
Okay,
it
so norms of restrictive masculinities say a real man should. Okay, all right. So the man should be the breadwinner. The man should be financially dominant. That's not what the norms say. That's what women want. If you talk to women, do they want a guy who's broke? No. Would they like a man who makes more money than they do? Yes. Work in manly jobs. Well, the problem is that manly jobs have really become sort of propagandized against. Like, for example, my grandfather, both my grandfathers worked with their hands, and they both had lovely families. And because the propaganda was different back then, they both had wives that loved them, and they had a lot of sex with both those wives. So
it wasn't just because of the propaganda, man. Like back then, one man working a job could like support 3-person household.
That too, and they did, and they were both successful enough. So yeah, but then again, someone could say that if it wasn't for the propaganda, in theory, like especially in America, you know, an electrician kind of outdoes a lot of people who have a college degree in terms of their earnings, but it doesn't seem
it's the same too, man. It's the same here, man. It's the same here. Like the handyman and stuff like that. Like, you know, your basic plumber makes more than most people who are working full-time jobs in offices and whatnot. In any case, be financially dominant.
Norms of restrictive masculinity say a real man should be the ideal worker. I don't know about that, because I would say that really with men, it's like a real man doesn't take crap from people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, would be like, they've got both here. So he should be the ideal worker or be a manly leader. So like he should be either or.
The manly leader is more, or I would say, even like I mentioned in my previous, I had the fortunate luck of being sired by Giga Chad, because my dad is Giga Chad, and he was someone who had the more attitude of like,
Time out. I thought you had Polish blood, and Giga Chad we know is Russian. So like, what are you talking about?
I thought Giga Chad was Serbian, to be honest, and that's not a joke for you. I thought he was from the Balkans somewhere.
No, he's Russian, and he's eligible for mobilization. Look it up.
Oh boy, okay. Well, look out! Here he comes. But essentially, my dad was a real kind of like person who had a real FU attitude of like, I'm not going to join some labor union. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, whatever I want. I'm an independent contractor. Fuck you. And so, that always kind of came across this real FU attitude, although sometimes it's kind of destructive. That definitely worked out. And I think that's something that my mom always said that she loved about my father, because my mom mentioned to me many times as a child that she always felt that she let people walk all over. And my father was like a Golden Gloves boxer and American football player, and was like this sort of like, rock and roll, drinking, only working for himself, never letting some union keep him down kind of guy. And obviously that's super attractive to women. But anyways, carrying on.
Who is Giga Chad?
Where's our big circle? Yeah, dude, everyone knows who Giga Chad is. Even if there's one person
his name is Ernest. His name is Ernest Khalimov, and he's from Russia.
Ernest Khalimov. That's interesting. That means he's probably not ethnically Russian. I wonder what his ethnicity actually is then. Interesting.
So you wanted to circle back?
Yes, I did. But it's good to know that Giga Chad is actually Russian. That is amazing. Let's see. Man should. So this was I read first the economic and political sphere. Now we have the private sphere. Dominate sexual and reproductive choices. Well, I'll put it this way: This is important. If we're like in Serbia, you're probably concerned with the future, the demographic future of society. Ask women if their husband that they love very much, they're really into this guy, they love their husband. He says, I want to have kids. The kids appear. It's really in a lot of ways, and this is a mistake they do in Russia. They think that the desire to have children comes from women. It comes from us. It comes from us building the foundation for those children and then saying, I want children. I want to have people carry on my name into the future. I'm the boss here. As soon as women feel that sort of comfort that like you're in charge and you're going to lead them down this path and be the man, all of a sudden they're, it's baby time. So demographic problem, with our problem. Yeah. To protect and exercise guardianship. That's true. Oh my God, it's the Moscow Metro. Control household assets.
My bad.
That's debatable because in Eastern Europe, in a lot of ways, women have had a lot of say over, like the like men sort of get resources, and a lot of times women allot them. So, kind of maybe sort of minor allocation is a woman's thing, but maybe I would say the overall planning of where the family's going, where we're going to live, how we're going to live, that's usually the domain of the man. Yeah, as I forget, someone told me there's something like men sort of make the big executive decisions and then women deal with the implementation. So it's sort of like men are Congress and women are the executive branch. So anyways, men have the final say in household decisions. Yes, again, because women don't like making decisions. They would rather sort of consult us. It's more kind of like a consultation, and then the man kind of makes the final decision. But of course, if he constantly just never does anything that makes the wife happy, well, then the marriage is going to die. So you better pick good, brother. So yeah, men have to make decisions, but they have to make the right decisions and decisions that don't suck. And about controlling household assets, that also means that you're sort of assume that you're going to make, you're going to control them in an effective way. You see what I mean? A lot of this is more results based. And the final one: do not do unpaid care and domestic work. Well, yeah, it's like, especially if the wife stays at home, then you don't want to do that. And furthermore, again, it goes back to the whole thing of like, if you constantly do all the household work, then you just become, again, beta bucks deluxe. Go to work all day and then come home and do a bunch of housework. And then your wife is going to still not find you attractive. Great deal. Great policy. Amazing.
Beta Bucks Deluxe.
Beta Bucks Deluxe. I love that one. But unfortunately, I forgot the name of the guy, but he's an Australian guy, and he does really good content. But he, like you, like I've never seen your eyes before. I think even when I met you, had tinted normal glasses on.
Yeah, these are my glasses that I wear all the time. These are actually vision glasses.
Okay,
it's the same glasses. Yeah, it's just that under the light they look a little darker.
But so like the Australian guy, he actually always wears a hoodie. I can't simulate it without like a rag. You can only see this part of his face, and he has, because Australia, if you want to talk about anywhere that's fascist, it is Australia. There's no country on earth where you hear so many stories of just the government or weird people doxing you and destroying your life than Australia. It is the true
New Zealand is right there. But yeah, Australia is definitely in the lead. I think Australia lost everything when they lost their guns. Like, when was it? Like now 20 years ago or something like that? Like,
well, of course, the British viewers are going to be like, man, guns, Americans, such a stereotype. That's another thing. If you want to talk about where statistics don't matter and everything is about feelings, I much prefer the philosophical arguments. But yeah, that definitely. But also, again, dealing with masculinity. To be masculine, you have to have power. And power kind of comes with this whole sort of thing of being able to inflict violence. Why is the government powerful over us? Because it can inflict violence on us. You see, why are some nations powerful and others are weak? What exactly is this? Because you can talk about economic power, but it's essentially the ability to enact economic violence on someone else, or traditional violence. So yeah, but then again, that's the thing. You can't talk about violence. You can't talk about the reality that actually we still live in a violent world, and we always live in a violent world. No, that's not polite. Democracy, voting.
I was talking to XF Hawking the other day. It was a while ago now, but the point is, he was saying, like, women don't perceive the world the way men do. Like, when a man walks down the street, he's looking around. He's noticing where the exits are, metaphorical or real. He's noticing who might be a threat. He's noticing, if there's a car coming down the street or whatnot. And there's always a threat of violence for men, in the sense that if there's something that's going to happen, violence is going to break out between, other men. Whereas women walk around and they perceive this peace, which is enforced de facto by the threat of violence of other men, as peace, as lack of violence, not as threat of violence. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's this whole dynamic that's like, unnoticed.
Yeah, it's kind of like society. The thing where you always get these sort of feminist types are saying a woman should be able to dress any way that she wants and not have anything happen to her and this, that, and the other. And for men, that's insane. They're like, why make yourself a target? That's very masculine thinking of. It's like, we live in a dangerous world. Why don't you maybe dress not so spicy on an open street where anything could happen that's bad? Or, if you want to dress sexy, be there with your boyfriend or some other sort of diffusing sort of person there.
Power.
Yeah, a lot of people want to live in a fantasy world where violence doesn't exist. However, again, I think also being, again, living in a more masculine mindset is just sort of accepting that there is violence and there is danger, and sometimes things happen. Or like me, I was sort of lucky that I had the parents that I did, because one thing, I think people have become really obsessed with pets. They treat pets like little children or little people. I mean, my dad made it clear.
I hate that shit. Hold on one second. I have to interject because you bring it up. Like, I hate that shit. Like the substitution of children that you didn't have with pets that has become like ubiquitous all over the world, and like pet cemeteries and like whatnot. It's like, I'm not against pets. I like pets. Pets are cool. Pets like me, But like the point is, there's a line between a pet and a substitute for a child.
Yeah, and you're putting this thing on a pedestal, and a lot of these pets are being treated better than human, or as in these like substitutes for children, and that's satanic. Like, I'm not kidding. That's pure satanic reasoning to put some sort of animal above someone. That's like which Roman emperor supposedly like gave his horse a position in the Senate?
Nero? Was it Nero?
I guess. Yeah.
I think it might have been Nero.
Whether it happened or not, with the way that some rich people think, it's believable. it's a believable story. So, but anyways, we were kind of getting off the point of, wait, what was I talking about here before we got off on the side? You lost? Oh no. Guns.
Were we talking about guns?
It was about animals.
Threat of violence in the street. Guns.
Yeah.
I was gonna say about guns.
Because of my father. Hold on. My father did the thing. He was a hunter, so he always had a bunch of dogs. Of course, they're cute and they have big fuzzy noses, and that's great. But he even made the point. He was like, if anyone ever breaks in here, the dogs are gonna get shot first. He sort of laid it out that the dogs are just sort of there to be bullet sponges till he has time to get his gun. So I was like, okay, that and also too, one time when I was sort of like, one of the dogs was dying, and he was sort of looking at me, and my father was never really good at the whole, like, again, because he's a real man, he was not good at the emotional stuff, but he sort of was looking at me, and the dog is dying, and it was maybe already dead, but I don't remember the circumstances, but he was sort of like, if you ever get really sick with fucking cancer, I'll pay anything to keep you alive. But sorry, the dog's fucked. He wasn't going to pay $5,000 in the 1980s to like have surgery on a dog for cancer. So I appreciated that, Dad. Thank you very much that he made it clear that he'd pay any amount of money to save me. But the dogs are just screwed.
I don't even know how to like sarcastically label this kind of comedy.
Harsh reality comedy.
But it is definitely the worst comedy on YouTube. So don't forget to share, and subscribe, all that other good stuff. Buy me a coffee if you feel like it. Yet again. And Tim, we've been going on for 43 minutes the second time.
Good.
Let us know if there's anything you want to tell the audience before we call this another recording or talk.
No, just that. Remember, no, you should. No matter how fluffy or sweet, you should always look at your dog and think bullet sponge. That's the lesson for
today. Unless your dog's like a Chihuahua, then it's probably gonna run the other way.
Well, not all sponges are big, man. I have a sponge to wipe down a car. It's huge. It's like a big brick, and then you have the little one for your dishes. That's like, I don't know, this big.
What was I gonna say? Is there anything going on in Russia worth mentioning? Like, considering like I've got you on the line, and like our subscribers might want to know your.
And let's talk about that in like 2 weeks. I'll be back at the Fort Kirby. I'll have plenty of time, but that's a huge topic. That's a huge topic. There's a lot
what's going on with the? Give us like a 1-sentence summary of what's going on with the American village, because I saw you posted something about like another possible location or something like that.
Yeah, the main thing that people should know about is that we're going to have the site that's actually going to allow people to finally be able to buy their plot of land and buy their home and all that. That site will be released, I don't know, probably before New Year's. It's in the works. It's already been started. We're having some people who are hopefully competent make it. And yeah, so that's where we're at with that. And then that's going to be the big sort of reveal, and that's going to happen. And we'll see what happens after that. We'll see if this actually works or not. So
excellent.
Yep.
All right, Tim. Thank you. Everybody who stuck around to the end, thank you. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.